Our top focus today is on the world population. As it touches the 8 billion mark, the climate crisis would become more complicated and there will be multiple challenges. Since the emergence of the first humans in Africa over 2 million years ago, the number of people on our planet has continued to increase, and it may be said other species continue to decline, caught as they are in conditions created by human beings. Our planet's population has reached 8 billion, which means 1 billion people were added to the planet in just the last 11 years. And it won't be an overstatement to say that while human beings are continuing to grow, natural resources are getting depleted at an unprecedented rate. The forest cover is declining rapidly. Oceans are polluted as much as the atmosphere. Many species of mammals, fish, birds, reptiles and amphibians are slowly dying or in danger of extinction. Animal populations worldwide have declined by nearly 70% in 50 years. Around 900 species have become extinct since 1500, and scientists are concerned about the remaining ones. The rise in population will add to the burden on the environment. Naturally, there are fears about humanity's common future and concerns over shared responsibility. And as the global population is expected to grow by another 2.4 billion by the 2080s, many sections feeling that resources like food, water, energy could become scarce. The UN warning of more hardships in store, especially for regions already facing resource scarcity due to climate change. And experts showing concern over how the African countries, where the populations are expected to rapidly rise, African countries being the most vulnerable to the climate impact, and to make matters worse, most in need of climate finance. So most experts say a big problem is the overconsumption of resources by the wealthiest people. Given the scarcity of resources, the chances of conflict can only increase as more people compete for the available food, water, space. The UN estimating that human population could reach 9.7 billion by 2050. The swelling numbers and global warming, combined with excessive extraction of fossil fuels and rising carbon emissions, raising questions about the future of sustainable life on Earth. For more on this, with us on the broadcast is Erik Solheim, former Minister of International Development, Norway, also has been the former UN Environment Executive Director and Under Secretary General of the United Nations, with us from Brussels. Thanks very much for being here. I want to just understand your reaction to the very fact that our population continues to go up while there is alarming concern over the impact of climate change, and this will get worse as more human beings are born on our planet.
I think it's very important to have a proper understanding of this problem, because nearly the entire population growth will happen in one continent, and that's Africa. In most developed countries, either the population growth has stopped or there's even a decrease. I mean, Japan, Korea, most European nations, there is a decrease in population. And even in India, in most states of India now, the women get less children than the reproduction rate. So also the Indian population will reach a plateau. But in Africa, there's a rapid increase. And of course, this is the poorest continent. Africa at present is only 3% of the global emissions. So in that sense, it's the rich and not the poor which are destroying this planet. But of course, our aim is to bring every African up to the middle class. And then they will consume a lot more in the future. And then we need to build it on renewable energies, on a circular economy, and in an environment-friendly fashion. Otherwise, it cannot work.
Right. What do you make then of the series of pledges, commitments, promises that have been made by global leaders? But there is clearly a gap when it comes to acting upon these pledges, more so in the current circumstances where we have an energy crisis as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yeah, I think, the demands from Africa are completely just. I mean, Africans are saying, hey, we have not destroyed this planet. You have destroyed it. America, Europe, you have destroyed the planet, and you should pay. Unfortunately, I think it's highly unlikely that Africa will get any serious money from either America or from Europe. But that's the bad situation. However, the good news is, of course, that Africa should follow the path of China and of India, and also focusing on its own development based on own resources. India is not asking resources from abroad to develop. It has created the conditions for growth at home, and that's what Africa also needs to do, create the conditions for rapid green growth at home. Hopefully they can get some resources from abroad, but at the end, African development will demand upon African decisions and African resources.
All right, Eric, we're leaving it there for the moment. Thanks very much for being here and sharing those perspectives. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.